Hello and welcome to my Let's Play of Star Trek Online on the PS4. I am the Big B82 and this is part 30 of my Discovery Era Science Officer. We're about to undertake another mission in the Spectre story arc where we're going to travel back to 2265 in an attempt to stop the Devidians in their tracks in their efforts to feed upon the peoples of the 23rd century. So I'm going to speak with Franklin Drake on the mission and then we'll get this show on the road.
Obviously, the Devidians have found a way to harness this surge of triolic energy. The existence of the Devidian portal means they're traveling freely between the station in the present and in the past. Since 23rd century technology can't detect the Devidian phase shift, that time period is rife with potential victims. The only choice now is to stop the incursion at the source. You'll have to take that portal into the past and find out how the Devidians are creating this new surge of triolic energy. Stop them and find a way back without altering the timeline. Don't worry about temporal investigations. I'll pull a few strings. They'll never know you were gone. Best to keep your team small, just in case.
Okay, so let's accept.
Until next time.
Let's head to Drazan Station. I shall crack out my cheesy captain's log. Captain's log, Stardate 8636.69. We have the coordinates of when the Deviants are travelling back to 2265. We must go back and try to stop their efforts in the past. Okay. Wondering why what's going on with all the flickery lights on my ship?
Welcome to.
It's because I'm using two pieces of the temporal the temporal reputation, because it helps basically do more damage with my anomalies that I keep farting out. Also have a ship trait which also helps them do more damage as well. Okay, so let's go to Drazan's maintenance level and begin. Everything old is new. So I need an engineer with me. That's Tamarv. So I'll take Evelyn with me. I'll take Caroline. Evelyn's my first officer, so it's me, my chief engineer and my chief of security. Shouldn't have any issues. A properly modulated energy discharge should allow us to use this portal to follow the Deviants back through time. Once we get there though, it might be a bit trickier to get back. We should bring a few people as possible to minimise the chances of distorting the timeline. Go back in time. technically I'm from 2256. This is 2265. So I disappeared in 2256. Well, I went forward in time. It's a bit strange. 6 years of my career I'll never have. We're still in Drazana station, so just in the past. We need to be careful here, Captain. If we damage the station or injure anyone, we could damage the timeline irrecoverably. Even if Drake doesn't care about Temple Prime Directive, we should. We're still Starfleet officers after all. Set weapons to heavy stun. We're still in the computer core, Captain. Strange, I wonder why there's nobody here. From what I remember about this time period, there should be someone here. Even just a technician. If we find the right parts, we should couple together a subspace field emitter and perhaps get an idea of what the Devidians are doing here. But using 23rd century technology will make it much more difficult. The Federation won't develop ways to detect the subspace variances that the Devidians use until almost a century from now. I'll make a list of equipment here that we can use to fine-tune the Rosanna Station sensor array. We can probably find a regulator component somewhere near the computer core and an induction core on the power systems level. No wonder there's nobody here. The station is on medical alert. Non-essential personnel are confined to quarters and the computer core is locked down. Fortunately, that lockdown works both ways. No one can get in, and we can't get out either. Lucky for us, these old systems have well-documented problems. We shouldn't be too difficult to override the controls. So these old Duratonic computers have a memory fault that makes them susceptible to overloads. An overload could cause it to lose process, like the one locking the door in the computer core. In this century, there shouldn't be any task that could overload them, but there's an infamous 24th century warp geometry problem that would be insolvable with the processing power available to this computer. If we set the consoles to divert processing to parts of this problem, we might be able to cause a memory overwrite that would make the computer lose its security lockdown. Everybody get that? Okay, so if we go to we need to go to the field integrity console, which I think is this guy over here. That's my memory. I can't not get enough of that noise. The 60s in motion. It's such a shame that Kurtzman didn't particularly like the sound of the didn't like the sound of the 60s, and he had to make it look like the JJ verse. But you know, Kurtzman's a fucking idiot. Memory bank 3 done. I did it. The door should be open now. Okay. Lieutenant Myers, what are you doing here?
What are you doing down here? This station is on medical alert. Nobody's supposed to be in the computer core area but me. Hey, is that a weapon? Don't try anything, or I'll have to stun you.
Okay. Now I can just simply go democracy and get this over and done with pretty quickly, and then we go, yeah, and he will let us pass straight away. But I'm going to do the way to go if you haven't done democracy, which I'm pretty sure by now you would have, but anyway, because this mission's level 65. Anyway, so I'm lost.
The lift shouldn't have let you come down to this level. How did you get here?
I was stuck on the lift when the station went on alert. Is there a way to let me out?
You should have used the intercom to call for assistance. It's not safe to move about the station during a medical alert.
Right, I should get back to the main station area.
Follow me. I'm going to call security for an escort.
But if I'm contagious, won't that be dangerous?
I guess you're right. Look, just go up to the maintenance lift, get to the emergency medical center as soon as possible, and get checked out. There's a doctor up there who has set up a triage center for the affected patients.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Lieutenant. Pound-Durotonic transducer relay. Yeah. Sir, I'm reading the patrol team ahead. Since the station's on medical alert, they're probably following standard patrol pattern. We might be able to sneak past them or even lock them in one of the side rooms. That's code for we need to lock them in one of the side rooms. Where are they? Oh, not there. Surprise, motherfuckers! Haha. More trial ways. There must be Devidians somewhere in the station. Lieutenant?
Oh, hey. You shouldn't be here. You should get up to the quarantine area.
What are you working on?
Oh, just running a level 3 diagnostic on the subsystem. The computers on the station are state-of-the-art. I can simulate an entire copy of the station and display every piece of it as a wireframe model.
That's impressive.
I know, isn't it? I'm very fortunate to be able to work here. Working on a station like this really strikes home just how modern and new everything is.
Isn't this subsystem tied to the main computer core?
Yes, although it has its own memory and subprocessor as well. It can even work in parallel with the computer core's main processor.
What happens if you tie it to the main computer's memory?
Here, I'll show you. That's odd. The core isn't responding to my request. I need to go talk to Lieutenant Myers. Make sure you get up to the quarantine area and get checked out by the doctor.
Yes, Ensign. Warning, improper access may cause injury and or death. For hardware access, disable all power taps before servicing. Discharge static electricity before contact with leads. Unlock safety cage prior to access unclamped data lead to replace regulator. So it's disconnect power. Touch the plate. Unlock the safety cage. Remove the monitor. And then we take the panic regulator. Easy. Now this next bit I cannot get through without having to shoot the guard. It's a bit annoying, but I guess. Is that where the I can't get in there, but that's where the where Bonnikins was. Bonnikins. This is where Bonnikins was. This isn't the power distribution level, so security is over in the turbolift. They must have detected our arrival. So actually security will probably be here any minute now. If we're going to get out of this without a fight, we better look for an alternative quickly. We'll have to find a console to override the turbolift so we can keep going. Yeah, so this is where we fight Bonnikins. Another group of Starfleet officers ahead, sir. If we're cautious, we might be able to avoid them while they aren't looking. Yeah, this is where we fight the crazy. Hey, don't mind us, guys. Well, there's supposed to be a way to get around this.
Hold it right there.
Without fighting Lieutenant Seaman. But apparently, there isn't. This is where we fight him. It's all gone mad. Oh, fucker. Can match it. Strange. So we should be able to access the only able to find an induction core to this level on this level as part of the power systems. Then simply need to rig the subspace inducer to the sensor array, and then we can pinpoint the Devidians incursion. This is where we got attacked by spiders. Lovely. Shenanigans. Hi there, you there. Don't just stand there, come over here and give me a hand. People are dropping like flies on this station and it's all I can do to keep up. Who are you? McCoy and Leonard H. But this is no time for introductions. What's going on here? Some kind of illness is affecting the people on this station. Blue flashes and ghost stories. There has to be a reason for it, and we need to stop it. People are dying here. What do you need me to do? As far as I can tell, all these people reported seeing those strange blue flashes of light. Now they're all dying. They're worse than dead. Their brains are gone. Whatever this disease is suppressing brain activity at an alarming rate. It's almost as if the energy between the neurons has been removed somehow. The blue flashes seem to be associated with a strange form of radiation. So we set up a triage centre here. That crazy engineer said that the power distribution station is heavily shielded. What kind of radiation? How should I know? I'm a doctor, not an engineer. The blue flashes are still happening anyway. We need some way to replace the neural energy. Jumpstart their brain somehow. Science, like rebooting the computer. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. But in the mind of much more complex and dedicated and a delicate instrument. Maybe that's the key. The brain might be able to restart itself. It's stimulated correctly. Give it the energy it needs and then the stimulus to make it spread throughout the nervous system. I need to know how much neural energy the survivors have, so that we can figure out how much they've lost. Then we need to apply cortical stimulators at the correct frequency. It's no pancreas, but it may save their lives. Saving these lives is important to making sure that everything turns out the way it should. Come on, grab a tricorder and start checking the neural activity on some of these survivors. Take note of your readings. We'll be going to have to calculate the difference from the healthy mind and determine the right frequency to stimulate the brain. A normal human neuron is resting a potential of -7 millivolts. Once you have the same reading, we'll calibrate the cortical stimulator and try to revive some of these people. Take sporadic reading. Same specific reading. Scan neuron resting potential. Neuron resting potential reading -60 millivolts. Normal human is 70. Scan neural sodium potassium pump levels. Interior neuron sodium ion levels elevated. Sodium potassium gates damaged. Scan for anomalous neural activity. Sodium potassium gates damaged by a forcible ion movement. Likely cause sudden change in neural voltage. Predicted results: hallucinations, loss of motor functions, nervous system damage. Neuron resting potential -58 millivolts. Exterior potassium levels elevated. Neuron limited to +15 millivolts. Active potential normal human active potential +30 millivolts. Sodium and potassium ions depleted. Some neurons incapable of electrical responses. Likely cause sudden change in neural voltage. Predicted results: fatigue, blurred vision, dulled senses, loss of autonomic functions. Okay, so speak with the doctor. Findings. And we'll calibrate the stimulator. Alright. Resting potential is -70. +30. And it's sodium external, potassium external and internal. Let's try it. It worked. We need to get this station commander. Come on. do that, Doctor. I'm going to go and borrow a induction coil. It's working, sir. The emitter has adjusted the active scanners of the station. What do you make of these readings? Images show that the station is becoming suffused with triolic radiation. The radiation is coming from Driffin's comet. The comet itself is emitting mass amounts of triolic energy. The Devidians must realise that the natural source of energy, and they're using it as an easy way to shift into the sync with us. It's like riding behind the wake of a ship in the water. But it's not all they're doing, sir. They're harnessing the triolic energy and infusing it with quantum particles. With that, they could have enough energy to make the entire station out of phase, maybe even the entire sector. We have to stop them. The comet is the key, sir. We can't do anything about the comet without a ship. And I don't think in the 23rd century vessel is going to be able to do the job. With this information, it's clear that we have to find some way to destroy Driffin's comet, sir. We can use one of the auxiliary reactors in sync with the subspace emitter that we've hooked up to the station in order to make a temporal portal that will take us back into our time. Once we make it back, we have to report in and find a way to bring the ship back with us to destroy the comet. We have another problem. You involve so much triolic radiation at this point that travelling through a gate could cause radiation poisoning. Normally we'll just use hydroline to flush it out, but our medical supplies aren't protected against phase shifting. Our hydroline supplies is probably already irradiated. It isn't a sort of problem that comes up frequently. We need a large dose of hydroline to chelate out the existing triolic radiation to protect us from transitioning back through the portal. There's one person who could probably get that to us. Doctor? Something else you need? Actually, I have a friend who took a little too much triolic radiation and could use some hydroline. A friend, eh? With all the radiation flares that the station's experiencing, there's probably going to be a little short of hydroline ourselves. I could maybe spare a hypo if your friend is getting radiation, he or she on the station already. I need a double dose to chelate out a significant amount of triolic radiation. You should never lie to your doctor or your bartender. That much radiation means you're experiencing something close to an epicenter, like falling around with triolic waves. You don't need the green blood and pointy ears to know that that's a bad idea. But when the people at this station really needed it, you came through. I appreciate that. I think I could spare a few doses. Just don't let the station captain hear about it. Thanks. Look, I'm not sure who you are or where you came from, but I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just an old country doctor, but I know better than to ask too many questions about a little unexpected help. You probably shouldn't loiter around too much longer, or the people will start to ask questions. I'm going to put these cortical stimulators to good use, and thanks. You saved a lot of lives today. Return to our time. Right, let's report to Franklin Drake.
So Driffin's comet is the source of the triolic radiation. That explains a lot. However, we cannot simply destroy it in our time. The Devidians have the means to go back to the 23rd century and harness its energy there. However, that will be their only other chance. Before that, there's no Drozana station, so there's no place that will be close enough to the comet's trajectory to be of use to them. The only logical solution is to alter the past. Destroy the comet there, and save the Federation. As it happens, I have access to a way to transport your ship back to the 23rd century. It's risky, but I think the odds are in your favor. And if they aren't, there's always time for another try. I'll make the arrangements. Stay in touch. Drake out. Until next time.
Okay, and he also has made a good point. Until next time, but that's what I'll say before. Anyway. Thank you very much for watching on the Big B82. Please subscribe, comments are welcome, and I appreciate any thumbs up. And I will see you in part 31, The Night of the Comet, when we complete the Spectre story arc. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao for now.